Hey, what's up, everyone? Brett Mix here, Mixer Madness. This is week 44 of the Monday Night Wars. The 171st episode of Raw in its history on the USA Network from Seattle, Washington on August the 5th, 1996. Ratings for this Raw was 2.8, Nitro's 3.0, so they lost by 0.2. WCW wins for the 8th week in a row by 0.2. Now, after this week's loss, the scoreboard is now 17 wins for Raw, 25 wins for Nitro, and 2 draws through the 44 weeks of the Monday Night Wars. And the week that drew 2.8, the Raw that is brought to you by Jim Ross this time, as the King's going to be in action, and Vince McMahon. So JR and McMahon are the commentators this week. Jerry Lawler began the show against Aldo Montoya. Lawler was on the microphone, taking shots at Jake the Snake for being a drunk. After he hit 2 pile drivers at 2:34, he gets the victory. Lawler brought a mic into the ring for the early part of the match to do his own commentary for the match. So just Jerry Lawler comedy, taking shots at the King. After the match, he forced Montoya to drink a bottle of liquor, a bottle of whiskey. He poured it down his throat, and then he just kept pouring it down each time the refs would break him away, and then each time he kept going back with Jim Beam and kept pouring it down Aldo Montoya's throat. Next up, the Body Donis, Skip and Zip I rated the match at 3/4 of a star. Skip and Zip of the Body Donis taking on the new Rockers, Marty Jannetty and Leif Cassidy, the new and improved Rockers, they like to call themselves now. They jumped the Body Donis by hiding below the Raw sign because they wanted to double sneak attack them. McMahon calls it a Pearl Harbor job, taking that from Gorilla Monsoon. The Rockers double team them every chance they get. Marty throws Skip to the outside. Leif Cassidy with a swinging neckbreaker on the floor on the padded concrete. Jannetty drops his weight onto Skip in the ring on the rope. Cassidy and Skip exchange a snapmare. They go to the side of the screen, and Clarence Mason's bringing a man to the WWF, and we don't know who the man is because he hasn't turned around, but it's Crush. Hard Irish whip to the post by Skip. Cassidy comes back with an uppercut and can't make the hot tag to Zip as the Rockers are wearing down, cutting off their half of the ring. Leave Cassidy on the defense for a short while, but then a spinebuster slam by Cassidy, so he went right back to the offense. Back from a commercial break, the Body Donis are being double teamed. Skip to the top with a Hurricane Rana. Zip is pushed off the top by the Guns, who come in to interfere. Eventually, at 8:48, Body Donis win by DQ because the Smoking Guns interfered. The Smoking Guns take it to the Rockers and the Body Donis, and all of a sudden the Godwins come out to make the save. So all 4 teams are battling, previewing the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team 8-man 4-team tag title match at SummerSlam from Cleveland that's going to take place. So all 4 teams do a little bit of brawling in the ring. This was a pretty good match, to be honest. I think I rate the tag match 2 stars and a quarter. It was actually a pretty good TV match. They do a sit-down interview with Shawn Michaels. He talks about Vader. He talks about SummerSlam. He talks about being WWF champion. Talks about Bret Hart returning. He talks about how he's always got to face the critics because there's always going to be a ton of critics. In the main event of Raw, we had a WWF Intercontinental Champion Ahmed Johnson take on 10 other men in an 11-man battle royal between Mankind, The Undertaker, British Bulldog, Justin Hawk Bradshaw, Owen Hart, Mark Merrow, Savio Vega, Psycho Sid, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Goldust. So, and the stipulation to this battle royal is whoever wins is going to face the WWF champion the night after SummerSlam. So whoever wins the Shawn Michaels Vader match is going to take on the winner of this battle royal. The Undertaker and Mankind are going to be in the Boiler Room Brawl at SummerSlam. So they go at it before, and they brawl before the battle royal could even get officially started. Before they rung the bell, Mankind and the Undertaker began brawling into the ring, and that's what started the battle royal. People were on the outside apron or on the floor, but Undertaker and Mankind were brawling inside the ring before everybody even got inside. And then by the time everybody got inside, they were on the outside again because they both took each other over at 9 seconds. They both eliminated the other, as it was a double elimination at the same time. They both went over the top rope at the same time, brawling at 9 seconds. Undertaker eliminated Mankind. Mankind eliminated Undertaker. So they brawled all throughout the arena, all throughout the entrance aisle, all throughout the crowd, all throughout the backstage area, all throughout, not boiler rooms, but they went into some rooms, and they had a lot of weapons in the back, and they walked up on top of cases and whatnot in staging areas. So they battled each other in like brutal backstage areas. So it was a pretty good brawl. During Undertaker and Mankind just would preview their SummerSlam match by brawling. The Bulldog eliminated by Ahmed Johnson at 110 was the first elimination. At minute 10 in, Ahmed just hit a pro river plunge and a clothesline to the Bulldog to get him out. Justin Hawk Bradshaw was eliminated at 327 by Psycho Sid. Psycho Sid hit a choke slam on Bradshaw and then eliminated him by clotheslining him over the top. Wildman Mark Merrow eliminated Owen Hart at 402 after Owen Hart went over the top rope, skinned the cat, came back in Owen, and then Owen pointed to his mind. And then right as he did this, Mark Merrow came and clotheslined him over the top rope to the outside, and Owen Hart got eliminated to a big pop. And then Goldust eliminated the Wildman Mark Merrow not too long after at 4:32, like 22 seconds after Owen Hart was eliminated. They eliminated Mark Merrow, or 30 seconds after Owen was eliminated, I should say. Savio then eliminated himself at 450 by going for a spinning heel kick to Goldust in the corner of the ropes, and his spinning heel kick took him to the outside, took his own body to the outside. So at 450, Savio Vega eliminated himself. Undertaker and Mankind brawl all over the arena. They go to the middle of the ring. They go back to the middle of the ring. So they went to the backstage area, out to the crowd. Now they're back inside the ring, even though they've already both been eliminated. So they're brawling even inside the ring now. Previewing their Boiler Room brawl as they just putting over the fact that they both can't stand each other and they both wanted to get at each other. The final four were Austin, Sid, Ahmed, and Goldust. These four made the bulk of this match. These four, it was mostly like a fatal four-way battle with Battle Royal rules. That was most of the bulk of the match with these four. So the wrestling went back and forth. They show everyone back in the locker room area where Mankind and Undertaker are continuing to brawl. Sid powerbombs Goldust, and Austin then drops right hands to Sid in the corner. The King of the Ring, Stone Cold Steve Austin, tries a pile driver on Sid, but then Sid can't lift Sid, so Sid does a back body drop to Austin, and Austin hits the canvas. Psycho Sid powerbombs Austin, and instead of throwing him over the top rope, Sid sits on him to give him a camel clutch. Sid slaps on the camel clutch rather than just throwing him over the top rope, which would have made most sense after powerbombing him. But again, it's Sid, so I guess doing things that doesn't make sense is common for Psycho Sid, since he's a madman. Makes sense. They advertised Owen and HBK to meet next week on Raw. So one of the many Owen HBK Raw matches. I think they have in totality throughout their careers on Raw. I think they had 5 or 6 matches, at least 4. There was 2 in late 1997. I want to say there was 2 or 3 in 95 and 96 combined. But yeah, I know there's at least 2, so there's at least 4. But I want to say there could be 5 or 6. Anyways, they go to the backstage area. Undertaker and Mankind are still brawling, and then they cut back to the footage and the Battle Royal. And Austin is eliminated by Goldust and Ahmed Johnson at 13:46. So they were trying to put Austin over a lot by having him eliminated at 13:46. Then it came down to Ahmed and Goldust, the final 2 in there, as Austin eliminated Psycho Sid. Forgot to mention that. Austin eliminated Psycho Sid before he was eliminated by Ahmed Johnson and Goldust. So Austin eliminates Sid. The final 3 were Austin, Ahmed, Goldust. Ahmed and Goldust double-teamed Austin, eliminated him. Then at 16:03, Ahmed Johnson eliminated Goldust, and he hung on to the top rope. They were both going over. Ahmed hung on to that top rope as his legs were curled, and he won, even with his kayfabe injury to his ribs, or his kidneys, I should say. Even though I think he had a legit injury, but the kidney part, the ruptured kidney, I think was part of the storyline. He wrestled that, so they wanted to make him this underdog winner, and I think they wanted to have Vader win the WWF title, so they would have Ahmed and Vader the next night on Raw after SummerSlam. I think that's what they thought, but Shawn Michaels ended up winning, right, over Vader, and Ahmed was injured, so they went with Shawn and Yokozuna on Raw, the Raw after SummerSlam, which is in a couple weeks from this show. But more on that later. This Raw, I rated a 6 out of 10 because the Battle Royal for Battle Royals was actually quite entertaining. I thought they did a good job with this Battle Royal as far as booking-wise. So, yeah, pretty decent Raw when you take a look at the Battle Royal, but everything else was forgettable. Anyway, a 6 out of 10 for this Monday Night Raw. We'll see you on the next one. I'm Brett Mix, and I'm out.